My never I say ma PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV there. I see them yopo.
Direction as to what you were trying to do with the engagement there. Solo, I brought you a queen today on your show.
Oh, really? This is the first time we are meeting.
I see. So,
the MP.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I understand you want to be an MP.
Oh, Solo, but wait, let me introduce her. So, Beatrice Tanaya is a member of the National Communications Team of the New Patriotic Party. Beatrice, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And welcome. You have a vote already.
Gentlemen.
Yeah, you have an endorsement from Solo already.
I have no endorsement.
Okay.
The United Party is going to put up a candidate in Mampo and win convincingly.
Here we are.
Your opinion.
Yeah, okay. Let's get to it then.
You may be contest and I'll take it and you may be better off.
Oh, wow.
Prudu all the way.
It's a free advice I'm giving you.
Solo,
you will take it later.
Yeah, let's get to it then. You were here last week blaming the president, President Akufo-Addo, and you included Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia.
Yes.
That we could have averted all of this.
Exactly.
But
exactly.
For what they did.
Absolutely.
Is it not double standards now?
No.
We have made progress.
We haven't made any progress, and the same measure that we attributed to Daniel Akufo-Addo Bawumia will be the same measure. It's as simple as that. I mean, if President Mahama should fail to execute the promise, carry through the promise he gave the people of this country, together with Professor Jenana, that's it. So that tomorrow Professor Jenana cannot come and say that it was President John Mahama that decided not to sign and take herself out of it.
Yeah. But so you see why probably the previous administration was cautious about the bill.
They were,
and a number of changes appeared.
There is no changes anyway. You see, don't look. That is the problem I have with this country. Rationalization. President Akufo-Addo goofed. He had no business whatsoever not signing it. The bill went through series of engagement. This stakeholder engagement they are talking about, they did it then. In fact, this time around, they have not even gone to the extent of visiting European countries like Hungary and France. We paid for it.
In the previous
administration. Parliament did that. I remember it was Parliament of Ghana that did it. What is the departure here? The framework of the law is still the same thing. The bill that was supposed to
there are some changes that are being proposed now. So, for instance, there are some exemptions for Shraj, health workers. Some of these things are coming up.
You see, other countries are going to the moon. Those are the complex issues that we must be. This must be the easiest thing to do.
Just to sign? And you're not considering
signing a law that will bar women from marrying women, man from marrying man sleeping with a man. Must it be difficult?
So I'm telling you that there are human rights issues. Who
are the rights? Now I'm even demanding the Ghanaians. Okay. So far I'm yet to see them. That boldly will tell us that they are engaged in it. Whose right are you protecting? Has anybody come to you and said that he has a problem with me passing this law? Has any Ghanaian told you that?
You've heard some human rights groups.
I have not heard a bit about the bush.
There's Amnesty International, for instance.
Amnesty International, not Amnesty. We are talking about Ghana. This law is for Ghanaians. If they are Amnesty International, let them go to the international and do their LGBTQ business.
Shraj is now being exempt as part of the recommendations, or I mean some of the ideas coming up because they do human rights.
It's semantics. Let me tell you. If you take Ghana, the sovereignty of this country resides in the people of this country. And I'm asking you a simple question. Who are those that you claim? Which rights are you protecting? Whose rights?
So that question, why that question?
Because the point is that Ghanaians believe that we need this law. In fact, it's shameful for us to be discussing in 21st century whether or not a man must marry a man. I mean, does it sit well with you?
Are you not speaking to morality instead of what was supposed to be law?
Which one is law? Law must go with morality. You understand? Which law? The people of this country say they don't want this. As a president and as a government, your duty is to carry through the aspirations of the people of this country. And the aspirations of the people is that pass the law. The Senegalese young man that did it, has he died? Has he died? What is so special about this LGBTQ nonsense? Sometimes when I say LGBTQ, my old lady doesn't understand it. That's my difficulty. True. You know that? Do you know that?
So you told me last week here on.
But you see, when you say it, that what the so-called people that claims now they are so civilized are asking us to do is to allow true. And you sit, today is what? Saturday.
Yes.
SDA people are in church. Let's go to them and ask them whether they are for it. Tomorrow, the Pentecost, the Roman Catholic, the Methodist, they will be there. Let's go and ask them.
So if you claim that all Ghanaians are in favor of this,
yes.
Why the difficulty in just sign? Let's just place the same document as I was telling Ivan before the president he signed.
Absolutely, I agree. Me, I don't all this that they are doing. I'm not for it, because you see, the last time he went to Parliament, when the question was posed, as many as are in favor say yeah. How many of them say yeah? And block all of them. As many as are not in favor say no. The room went silent. Now, Parliament is the representation of the people of this country. What it meant was that 100% en bloc, Ghanaians supported the bill. So President Kufuor and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had no business whatsoever. And today...
So when you bring Dr. Bawumia...
Oh, they are the ones that didn't sign. Or you want us to leave them?
Yeah, because there's a new...
So now I'm coming. Now,
but when you...
The difficulty with this...
So people accuse you of politics then, that you are attacking these two individuals when they're out of the picture now.
The records must reflect that there came a time that there was a bill sitting on the table of President Kufuor and Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to sign to prevent the issue of Trumu, that men and men must not be sleeping, woman and woman must not be sleeping. The president and the vice president, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, refused to do it. They said they can go ahead and do it. Why I am unable to attack President Mahama the levels that I'm doing with I did with Nana Kufuor and Bawumia is the fact that as he speaks, the bill is not before him.
But in the case of President Akufo-Addo, it wasn't even transmitted to him.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
because there was a legal challenge.
Which one was the legal challenge? You believe in the legal? A president could see that someone will go and sleep and think of going to court before the president even goes to court. At the time he was talking about legal impediments, there was no case before any competent court of jurisdiction. By the way, which law bars the president from carrying out his executive mandate? Which law? If that were the case, then why was it that he was able to sign the E-levy bill when someone was in court? We lied to ourselves. They are so disappointed. You know the baby boomers, those that have free chicken at the universities, free education, slapped one in university. Ask these university students. Ask them sitting here. When was the last time they saw chicken in their the JCRs? Those that refused to sign the bill, they had free chicken. If for your information, they were sleeping one in universities. They were being cared for. When it got to their time to shaping society, they chicken out. During their time, were we discussing this business? Why must we discuss it now? By the way, the European countries that even introduced that was so vociferous on this matter. You go to France, people are even shy. They are even afraid to carry themselves as being LGBTQ promoters.
Okay.
So why must we be sitting down here and pretend as though, look, as if there is a Kakaibi chasing our presidents and we are dilly-dallying about it and now it's a topic, now we have to have parliamentary inquiry or whatever. They are sitting, when they didn't they drink water? I saw Queen Mother's Day, but I'm sure their transportations were taken care of by the state. We go and do all these things. The bill gets to the president, he will not sign. We come back here, we spend more airtime, and then the unseriousness continues. It will end this year.
Okay, all right. You know what? Fortunately, the vice chair is here, but let me come to Nana before I bring in the vice chair, because he has knowledge of the process happening, so he will be able to answer a few questions that you're raising. Here we are again. It's become topical.
Yes.
Morality or law, where do you stand in all of this?
You know, as all of us are saying, we're all saying the same things in different ways. I believe the gentleman representing UP Plus, another name for...
You want to give the new name?
I'm coming. I should say NDC2.
No, this is scandalous. This is scandalous.
I'm coming.
You got to withdraw. You got to withdraw. You have to withdraw. You got to withdraw. You have to withdraw. No. I am not going to do that. Listen.
So I'll give you the time.
You're blaming.
But you have to withdraw.
I'm not withdrawing.
No, withdraw.
You're shifting the blame.
It's going to be a totally different
No problem.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about?
Are you
what are you talking about?
Are you NPP?
I am NPP.
So why do we refer to me as NPP?
How dare you say? How dare you say that?
Serious.
And you are very unserious. How dare you?
You are not serious.
You want to be an NPP?
You want to be an NPP?
You shouldn't even thank.
You are not serious.
You shouldn't thank for even bringing up this information about LGBT.
You are not serious. You are serious. I'm not going to stand there. No, look, I'm a serious man.
I know.
If you bring
you're
a serious people,
and
you are not.
shouting
You are
anyway,
not.
thinking that you're doing politics here.
No, you are so unserious. How do you bring such a...
Saying true to move. We know that it's
okay, hold on. Let's hear you.
You know you are...
I'll give you the time.
I'm coming.
No, but you have to withdraw.
I am not withdrawing.
You are not going to speak.
How? The show is Joy News,
let's hear you.
not UPT.
But you think we are doing beauty contest
Okay, so let's hear you.
Thank you.
All right. You know what? We're taking a break. We'll be right back. When we get back, of course, we'll hear the matters. Stay with us here. Let's calm down. Welcome back to the show. This is Prime Inside, and it's all for the good of this country. But of course, when it degenerates, we want to just take a little break, come back, and then look at the matters. So we'll proceed with the matters now. Nana, you were just about making the point, and we need to say that Solomon Owusu is representing the UP here. So Nana, let's hear you then.
Okay. I mean, we all have the same sentiment.
Yeah.
That most people are in favor for the bill to be signed.
Yes.
We all have that. Even they did a poll of 93% of Ghanaians are in favor of the signing of the bill.
Right.
The bill was presented in 2024 on February, where it was unanimously voted in Parliament.
Yes.
But Nana Akufo-Addo felt that there would be legal concerns. And then 2024 elapsed, and we're now in a new dawn, a new government, a new day. And then it has been brought again by your own members, current members in Parliament,
yes,
such as Sam George and so forth.
And Reverend Tim for joining us.
Correct.
Right.
And so it's going through its procedures. But how long? It should be expedited and signed. What are the delays? And so, so much pressure was put on the previous government.
Yes.
And less pressure is put on the current government.
Do you think that's what's happening now?
I think so.
Because
look at the interaction that just happened now. Blame, shifting of the blame game. And it's the same questions, same bill, same topics, but I'm sure Nana Akufo-Addo wanted to make sure that it doesn't come to backbite in some way Ghanaians. Because pretty much the bill is stating not legalizing any LGBT activities. Trumu, marrying Adam and Steve. We detest that as Africans and as Ghanaians. And the former president and the current president is aware of
the argument is that a lot of expenditure went into the process under the Eswell administration, and the only thing that was left for the president at the time was to sign. That's Solo's argument, and of course you've just said Ivan also say that he was the president at the time. He could have signed it. He could have done anything at all. Yet technicalities were used and then it was brushed off.
Unfortunately, and it was latter part of 2024 and it lapsed. So here we are with the same bill, same topic, and it hasn't been signed.
But why do you feel that people are being unfair to the NPP now, as you're claiming?
It's a blame game. When certain people are facing challenges, then we like to go back to refer. You are in the soup now. Yeah. Fix your soup. Fix your soup. It's like making soup. Fix your soup. You think it doesn't have enough salt, you are there. So you have the ability to add more salt. You are there. You are the driving force.
Should this still be a priority for us as a country?
It should be a priority, because if not, then what happens if someone does engage in that type of act? Even though in our Constitution, it does talk about it briefly, but it doesn't talk about to a deeper extent.
I see. The issue now about legality against morality. Some say, well, even if you stop it by law, in the movies, as Ivan is saying, you find it all over there. I mean, there's social media now.
Right.
You can stop some of these things from coming through. So what then would be the essence of the bill if we still go ahead to
Okay, for instance, I'll give an example. Let's say you have a transgender man and he commits a crime in Ghana. Where do you hold him at? Do you hold him in a male's prison or a female's prison? What happens if you have a transgender man and he changes himself to a woman? That's what that means. And you have a little girl, a daughter, and she's 5 and she needs to urinate. Says, Daddy, I need to go to the washroom and urinate. And she is in the same washroom with this transgender person. Will you, as a father, be comfortable? What about our curriculum in schools? Should we now be teaching this? So we have to look at it from a different aspect, different perspective, and look at it in the future context. Because right now, Ghana is the gateway of Africa. Look at the digitalization that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has invested $270 million to make Ghana the forefront of digitalization, which was pioneered and started from the NPP previous administration. But I am happy that he is continuing with the legacy.
Yeah. But this is what you might...
And when you do that, that means you're bringing other cultures, other dynamics, other perspective, other schools of thought. You would definitely have gay people in Ghana. They're there. They're there. But we as Ghanaians, we understand that they're there, but we do not want their ideas to be forced in our culture.
I see. How do you respond to the criticism that the NPP now is pushing this administration to intentionally speed up the bill, use the...
because you also pushed us.
But is that fair enough? So then you're degenerating it as a political party into partisanship, which is why, of course, you have the likes of Solo criticizing your administration at the time, that you could have prevented all of this.
Solo is burning. You don't see him popping in. We're supposed to speed up the process. The same pressure that was given to us, and we felt that it was a priority, and it came to Parliament, and they passed the bill unanimously, is the same way they should.
Yes, but you want a certificate of urgency, so it's passed with speed. But for instance, I'm looking at some of the changes, and of course, we'll come to the Vice Chair shortly. Some changes are beginning to come home. So why don't we wait in this instance just to get it right, just to get the bill right?
Why so many delays? Why so many delays? Why is so many delays? Maybe there's some aid or something that we are not aware of from the back scenes of why this bill has not been signed. Maybe there's something that we are not privy to. That's the reason why the bill is not signed, because they are all aware of how much this means to Ghanaians.
Okay, you know what? Let's not speculate. Fortunately, the Vice Chair is with us. And James, Honorable James, you want to respond to some of these issues. Maybe we should start with her points. That it appears there's a delay. First of all, tackle that, then we get into some of the changes we're beginning to see now. Is there really a delay now? Because the likes of Solo, they want it to be passed. That's all.
Okay. Thank you very much for the opportunity. And let me take the opportunity to extend my regards to the good people of Tema West who have given me the honor to be their representative in Parliament. And let me also thank you for having me on this program. This is my first time.
Baptism of fire,
yes, being on this program.
Solo has given you a feel of.
Of course, the main object of the bill is to provide for human sexual rights and family values and other related matters. I think that from the conversation that has been ongoing for now, we need to put a lot of matters in perspective. And this means that we also have to look at the historical antecedents as far as the bill is concerned. And we know that sometime in 2021, there was an advocacy center that was set up for the purposes of LGBT plus activities. And this is what generated a lot of discourse in the media space as far as the activities of the LGBT plus is concerned. And this also generated reactions from a lot of stakeholders talking about the Christian Council, the Office of the Chief Imam, and a whole lot of stakeholders also came on board to speak against, especially the setting up of the Advocacy Center, pursuant to which same was shut down. And of course, this also triggered a statement in Parliament in respect of the activities of LGBTQ and how it has become very prevalent. And then some members of Parliament decided to initiate a private member's bill to ensure that some of these activities are proscribed so that it will not be part of our system, since they believe that it doesn't fit into our social cultural values as a country. So the bill was initiated. As we all know, it went through all the stages. It was passed, and it was left with presidential assent. Now, we got to a situation where some legal processes were triggered. Indeed, people went to the Supreme Court. Richard Sky, for example, went to the Supreme Court, sued Parliament of Ghana and the Attorney General, among other things, to say that the bill is unconstitutional and all that. But at the end of the day, the bill survived 3 legal actions in the Supreme Court. You know, all these actions were dismissed. So the way was open.
But if you look at the Richard Sky case, it wasn't dismissed because, well, there are questions of human rights. It was much more because, well, you had just passed it at the time. It hadn't become law of the country. And that's where the political question of whether or not President Akufo-Addo should have signed it, or maybe, you know, rejected it at the time.
But the most important thing is that at a point in time, at a material time, there was nothing preventing the president to sign.
Oh, you also agree
yes,
to that?
But unfortunately, that did not happen. Fast forward, you know, per the rules of Parliament, every Parliament that elapses with all the bills that are pending before it. So the 8th Parliament elapsed on the 6th of, I think, January 2025. At that time, the bill had not received presidential assent. So all bills that have not been passed, or all bills that have not received presidential assent, lapsed on the 6th of January 2025, which included this particular bill.
So because of time, now we are here. We've seen what you've done at the committee stage. The question now to you is, why are we expending further, you know, public funds to sit to do lengthy consultations again when, as you heard Solo say, we've done the first, I mean, so many rounds of engagements already. So why can't you go ahead and just relay what had expired in the previous administration?
Thank you very much. This is a very important question. Indeed, and when the committee met from Thursday, Friday, this issue came up. Actually, the sponsors of the bill, in their opening remarks, thought that we should just make a wholesale acceptance of the bill because it has gone through previous processes, and therefore there was no need. But indeed, my chairman and myself were of the opinion that we need to look at it. For us, it was a new bill that has come before us. And the reason, and the reason is simple. You know, even let's look at our laws. Sometimes we pass a law today, in a week, in 1 month, we realize that there are certain provisions that needs to be amended. And then we go back and go through amendment processes. Even our constitution, there are a lot of provisions in the constitution that we feel that it must be amended.
That's what you in the NDC, you're being accused of picking and choosing now.
So let me come in now. So what it means is that since the bill was passed in the 8th Parliament, there has been some further developments. Indeed, a lot of stakeholders have written to the committee with certain suggestions regarding specific provisions. And indeed, at the time that we started considering the bill clause by clause, at a point we thought that there was not going to be much proposed amendments. But when we ended, we noticed that there has been some substantial amendments made to the bill. Indeed, apart from the fact that there were some minor changes that were made, there were quite substantial amendments. And let me draw your attention to those substantial amendments.
What are some of what's the main change now in what we have?
Okay, so number one, we have been able to make provision for situations like this. For instance, we had a situation where mobs were attacking people who are deemed to be LGBTQ+. We had situations where people were mobbed and attacked and beaten and all that. And indeed, we have been able to inculcate a provision from Section 84 to 87 of the Criminal Offences Act, Act 29, which has to do with assault and battery, to indicate that those provisions are applicable in the circumstances of attacks.
Okay, if you assault
in situations, because the law makes provision to the effect that you cannot verbally or physically attack somebody that you deem to belong to that class of people. So then, if we are proscribing such acts, what is important is that we need to create an avenue. If you say they shouldn't mob, what should they do? Then it means that we should provide an avenue for them to rather pursue their grievances. And that is why there's a provision to the effect that in such circumstances, you either report to police or report to any important person
then again,
in the
society. It will come back to our point that I've been saying, that the process, there are enough laws covering all of these things already. So why would we just...
Not necessarily.
Let's just proceed.
Not necessarily. Let me also give you one other example. Okay. You know that in this country, per our laws, we have what we call privileged information. For instance, there is communication between lawyer-client, doctor-patient, and other relationships. And it was important for us to ensure that these areas are safeguarded. For instance, if somebody who is aligned to, or somebody who is an LGBT plus whatever, goes to a lawyer and confides in the lawyer that this is my situation, this is me, this is who I am, is that person under obligation to disclose? Because under the law, there is a provision of a duty to disclose. That once you're a Ghanaian and you know that it has come to your attention that this person is in that kind of activity, you have a duty to disclose. So the question is that does a lawyer-client relationship in which such information has been put out to the lawyer, is he under an obligation to disclose? In case of a pastor and a church member or whatever it is he under a duty to disclose? So we need to be sure that we make provisions to safeguard these areas of the law so that the responsibility on a citizen to disclose that information anytime it comes to their attention is safeguarded.
That part you intend to change?
Yes, that part we intend to change, to make sure that the law makes provisions for that. Apart from that, you know, there are institutions in the country that have been mandated by law to perform certain functions. For instance, SHRAJ. For instance, Ghana AIDS Commission. We have a situation where Ghana AIDS Commission can go around sharing lubricants, sharing condoms to people, including people of LGBT plus affiliation, you understand? So the question is that, are these activities of these institutions promoting? Because the law says that if you promote the activities, you are liable. So are these the activities of these institutions in terms of giving condoms to these people, in terms of giving lubricants to these people? Are there activities that can be categorized as promoting? Because otherwise it becomes an offense. So it means that exceptions have to be made for such groups as well. So these are some of the issues that have come up that we are trying
Before I take another round, then this will suggest to us clearly that the bill was not fit for purpose.
Not necessarily. And I can tell you for a fact that...
You seem not to want to agree with that.
Let me tell you this. There is no law that is perfect. Because sometimes once we trigger the process, the law is in practice, we are executing the law. Then we know the challenges that come with it, and we go ahead to amend. Yeah. So if you want to make a perfect law, then we can never we can never end. So sometimes with development of time and new things coming up, you appreciate that, no, this provision, I think if we take it this way, it will be better. You understand?
Let me bring in Ivan. Ivan, so then your question is being answered.
Yes.
But you can see clearly that there are defects in what was being presented at the time.
So like I said, Parliament is a master when it comes to making of laws. Mm-hmm. So at the time, when that finality was given to that particular document, what it means was that we were done and the president had to. You see, the Special Prosecutors Act.
Are you not unfairly hanging people for something that's way
you see, that was the duty of Parliament then. So once they tell you we are done, they were done. No question. And the fact that Parliament is done and the president has ascended to a law doesn't mean that it cannot be subjected to critical inquiry. The Special Prosecutor Act has been passed, but today it's been deemed unconstitutional, but it went through parliamentary process. So the mere fact that it has gone through the mill and it has received parliamentary, presidential, whatever, does not make it a holy document like a Bible. You understand? So it's always subject to. So the point is that if the president had at time ascended to the bill, we could have still have this realm, this luxury of subjecting it to some of this consideration coming up, and we can still amend it. We can sit here, draft a document today, have it passed. Tomorrow there will be other suggestions.
Your principle will also apply now to say that the president can, you know, just under some level of urgency, put that before Parliament today, and then correct it as and when.
Yes, today.
I'm applying your same.
I understand. Let me answer you.
Yes.
President Mahama, under the Constitution of this country, does not have any power at this time over the bill. Let's make it quite clear. At this time, today, President Mahama does not have any constitutional power, whatever, to influence or prevail on anybody so far as the development of the bill is concerned. So the question is, can Parliament, Honorable is here, can Parliament as of today circumvent the laid down procedures and just leave the bill and send it to the president? The answer is no.
Does the president have power to influence or perhaps cause the Attorney General to lay this under certificate of urgency?
The president can.
I'm asking.
No. You see, that I'm saying, when it comes to certificate of urgency and those stuff, there can be an executive influence.
Last week you were here, so was as many as 32 or more certificates of urgency.
The executive.
I'm just asking.
The executive wealth overwhelming power. They can impress on Parliament.
Are you telling me that the President of the Republic cannot speak?
I'm saying that he can impress on Parliament. He can impress on Parliament, but the actual decision has to be made in Parliament. Because, you know, there is this clear boundaries so far as these institutions are concerned. There cannot be overwhelming executive intrusion into the nose of the Parliament to do whatever that they want. So I think that as it stands now, can we circumvent the process and push it to the president?
And I'm telling you that possibly you can do that, isn't it?
No.
By just going under
no. The certificate of urgency is welcomed, but you need to provide cogent, rationalized argument just to back it. And I'm saying that the proponent of what do you call it? Certificate of urgency. Nobody has been. The justification has always been that, the NDC gave us pressure, so they should go.
You know, as now, the government still holds the view, and the president expressed that. Look, we wanted to own the process. It should have been a government-led business. Except to say that it's now a private members issue. He has the power.
No, I'm saying that the processes and what goes through in Parliament. The president can only impress. Yes, he has power to influence.
The president can't initiate the document through
but Parliament has already set in motion the process that this bill is going through. The deputy chairman is here. They are working. Can the president truncate whatever they are doing and say that, whatever you are doing is unnecessary?
But it's not bad in law, is it?
No. But
it's very bad.
But you are not prevented.
But the president doesn't make law.
Procedures.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that it's not exclusive. The government now, as of now, can go with the certificate of urgency.
Why not? It is possible.
That's what I'm saying. So why are we not applying that principle here?
See, I think that talking about a certificate of urgency, I think that it is something that we can look at. Indeed, yesterday in our deliberations, that suggestion came from some of the members of the committee.
Right.
And it's something that we are still thinking about.
Yeah.
But you see, what is important is that now the bill was relayed, it went through first reading, yes. It was referred to the committee. Yes. The committee will have to present a report to the House. If the report is adopted, we go for second reading.
We can do away with all of that.
No, it's not possible.
Single executive decision.
No, please. When it comes to the processes that we have to, even under certificate of agency, you cannot skip this.
But at least the 24-hour rule.
Your first reading,
yes.
Your second reading, your third reading, yes. You cannot skip them. Obviously. Even under certificate of agency, obviously. You have to comply with all those procedures. Yes. And now we are. Once we present our report, yes. We'll do second reading. After second reading, we'll go to consideration stage.
Whatever the case, under certificate of urgency, maximum 1 week, we should be done.
Yes.
But you see, the truth is that even without a certificate of urgency, yes. Once our report is adopted, we can finish it within less than 1 week.
And again, you can push for a certificate of urgency when you are convinced in your mind that whatever they are doing is not necessary. Mm-hmm. You understand? Mm-hmm. But today, certain premise can be grounded on whatever they are doing, that certain legitimate concerns have been raised. And don't forget the proposals they are receiving came from Ghanaians who are equally concerned about some of the provisions. You understand? We are here discussing some of these leanways out of it because of the fact that they were not critically attended to, and people are raising legitimate concerns. You understand? So for me, if we can conclude that whatever consideration going on at this stage, the engagement which happened yesterday, if they are all unnecessary, then we can go for the certificate of urgency. But as it stands now, the proponents are just doing politics. There hasn't been any rationalized argument to back whatever that they are saying. That's my point. If we're able to adduce that cogent argument, why not? We will support it. Because you see, there is this hostile intrusion of this LGBT madness that is coming. You see, at the global stage, it's coming with force. You understand? And we admit the imminent danger it poses to us all. It's the reason why across the political divide we've tried to elevate this
you've had
conversation
Reverend
beyond the
Ntimfo say, well, do this under certificate of urgency. Hassan Tampoli.
So what were they doing when the president decided not to sign the bill? What were they doing? Ntimfo, when President Kufuor decided not to sign the bill, couldn't he have impressed on the president to do that? You see, when you do some of these things, you push the whole thing to the realm of pure partisan politics just to achieve partisan expediency. Nobody will take you serious. When President Kufuor, the bill was done and placed to him, his executive secretary wrote to the Speaker of Parliament and warned him, my friend, don't transmit the bill. That is what he did. The impunity with which that particular letter was written. We all are here, you understand? So I think that let us hasten slowly, go through the process, and I can tell you, when this bill is ready, there is no way President Mahama will say he will not sign.
But then are you doing part?
Did you understand? There is no way the President Mahama can say he will not sign, because the videos, the promises, everything has been there. So all that we need to do is to ensure the process is hastened. Maybe we go through whatever that has to be done.
When it is stable, that the president, you agree, has the power to do this.
He will, but they have to go through the process. We cannot circumvent the procedures. So when it comes and the president failed to sign, then we can have our concerns. You understand? But as it stands now, until the bill is placed on the table of the president, everything is within the realm of parliament. Let's allow them to do their work.
Nana, are you doing partisanship with this? Almost all your MPs, irrespective of whether they are also sponsors or proponents of the bill, are asking that let's use the certificate of urgency.
He was mentioning the previous administration, like he was flip-flop with the answers. He said that they could have easily passed the bill during the 8th Republic. Now he's saying, let's take our time. Now we're talking about urgency, and so it's like we're going around a wall. So it's there. We know the reasons. Can the president, in his due right, issue pass the bill? Of course he can. Of course he can.
Yes, that's an intention now.
He can, and he could speed. The process could be sped up.
Yes,
but it's not a priority.
It's about due process. Due process
that's what they're using for their delay. So it's not a priority.
That's your conclusion on this matter. That
he said it openly. It's not a priority. So it's not if it was a priority, just like with Gold Bud, making it the sole buyer and seller of gold in Ghana within less than 3 months, you would have done the same thing with the bill. What stops you? So if you're saying that you want to get all stakeholders using condoms and your lubricants, that's every human, intercourse is every human rights, you understand, for everybody to
feel
protect
these things
themselves.
are not substantial? For instance, look at the issue about...
It's not promoting LGBTQ, it's promoting to keep yourself safe, using preventative matters to keep yourself safe.
Yes. But are you saying that these changes are not substantive enough? Attack against persons, Shraj now has powers, I believe. These are some of the main changes happening, and also disclosure. Because people can confide in, say, maybe a pastor, maybe a doctor, and a lawyer. All these things are now changing now based on these changes that we're having.
Okay. I've never seen anyone within Ghana that has ever confided in me that they are part of LGBTQ. I've never seen it. And as Honorable Solo said, that it is a problem. And that he too said no one will come out and say they have done true publicly, because we detest that. So it's like we're tap dancing on the same issues.
And we ought to get to work.
And we ought to get to where we need to go and sign it.
You wanted to do a brief intervention. No, these are questions. I'm asking questions that...
Parliament is a master of its own rules. When it comes to Parliament, we are master of our own rules, and we are not manipulated or controlled by any other organ of government. So I think that we should appreciate those divisions clearly.
Very simple.
Yeah.
This constitution, when it was, as it were, passed in 1993 or 1992, it wasn't a perfect document. So it's a reason why there has been a lot of amendment to the constitution. So we cannot, as a country, like he rightly said, wait till such a time that you have a perfect law.
Yes.
Before we pass it. The old bill that went to President Akufo-Addo's desk that he refused to sign, they must fast track it and pass it. The last time someone tried dilly-dally with this LGBTQ, it led their political party to have, some say 38.2%, some say 41.74%, I'm inclined to believe it was 41.74%.
So do you have anything against...
No, I'm just explaining.
Okay, wow, okay.
That if you don't know death, look at sleep. It's an advice to this administration.
NDC, okay.
That the last time President Akufo-Addo played together with Mahmoud Bawumia, played with LGBTQ, he had 41.74%. So if you are
41%, you mean
the presidential,
okay.
And their numbers in Parliament reduced substantially to what? 87. Now is it 87 or 88? So what I'm saying is that if the NDC also wants to see their parliamentary numbers reduced to 30, with the next candidate getting less than the 41.74, they have the option of playing.
So are you threatening the NDC now?
I will be happy that they go on this tangent so that the United Party, because then it would mean already the NPP is discredited because they cannot use LGBTQ to make any point. They refused to sign it. They also would have fallen into the same soup. The next question will be who will be in a position, given the opportunity by on the 7th of January 2029 as the president to sign it immediately. It becomes the United Party's candidate. But I don't want us to get to that point. I believe
she has a question for you.
We didn't refuse.
What did you do?
There was delays because he wanted all stakeholders.
So you have been able to also add yourself to those that refuse to sign. were you voted for as the president of the land? Why do you go and take matters? Would you allow Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Nana Akufo to carry their own cross? When you want to be an MP and go there and say, if you had been given the opportunity, you will sign it. Well, if you were the president, wouldn't you sign the LGBTQ bill into law? Or you also refuse?
I'm not a president.
So why are you going to carry that cross?
Answer that.
Yes. So the point is that they have made their mistake. That mistake will haunt them for the rest of their lives. The NDC cannot. That's why the last time we came here, I said that statement that it was not a priority had dented the image of the president. This country is a funny country. Small thing that people lose confidence in you. Because people have a lot of confidence in President Mahama now than it was in 2016 or in the 2014, 2015. They have so much respect that he will not make that mistake. By the way, you are in parliament. Is there anything hunting you people? Now be frank with this. That is, as it was, serving as an obstacle to fast track this bill so that it goes onto the table of President Mahama.
Yes, thank you very much, Solo. I think that we as a committee, that the matter has been referred to us, like I said, since Thursday, Friday, we did a diligent work on the bill. And I want to assure you that we are going to expedite action on the bill. Once Parliament resumes, we'll present our report. If it's adopted, we'll prosecute the bill expeditiously. I want to give you that assurance. There is nothing that is inhibiting us from expediting the process. And we want to give the people of Ghana. How long will it take you
now, looking at what you're doing now, how long do you think it will take you to get this back?
I can give you my assurance that in the next session of Parliament, this bill will be passed into.
So before the end of the year?
Wow.
Of course. Of course. Before the end of the year. Of course. Now, next session,
I have a question.
Yeah, probably.
Because you see, once we resume, the report is adopted, we go for second reading. After second reading, it goes to consideration. Consideration is the most tedious aspect of the work, because that one, the whole House will consider it clause by clause. That is where we cross the T's and dot the I's and make sure that all the necessary amendment changes, we do it. That is what takes
by the end
a chunk of the time. And then after that, we go for third reading and it's passed. Then we send it to the President for assent. And I want to assure you and the good people of Ghana that we are going to expedite the process. And we are
by the end of the year.
Oh, by the end, even before the end of the year is even too far.
So, saying that
we have an by the next section
from
when we resume
Tema West, where the United Party will be presenting a candidate. So for him to stick out, I have no reason to doubt his conviction that by the end of the year, the bill will be on the table of the president. You would have done your godly or God duty on it.
Right.
Then you go to the president.
Yes.
And your argument is that the next president from the NDC, if they win the election,
yes,
or if they don't pass it, they may not win.
They will lose the election. I mean, why would NPP suffer from LGBTQ and NDC will think that they are special beasts? They will suffer from it. That one make no mistake. All the issues we took to election 2024, be it LGBTQ, galamsey, unemployment, will be relevant back in 2028.
Okay. And you see, let me also add my voice to what he said, that once the bill comes before the president, he's going to assent to it. I'm very optimistic.
No, that way you can't vote for the president too.
I'm very optimistic.
We saw in Team for your voting for Akufo-Addo, and it became another matter.
I am very optimistic that the president...
Okay, well...
Okay.
And that is why I am of the opinion that those who are accusing the president now, saying that it is not his priority and all that, I think those accusations are misplaced. Because at the end of the day, the bill is not before him. There's nothing he can do now. Now Parliament is seized with the bill to go through the processes. So if you accuse the president that he's not giving priority to that, then you are not being fair to the president.
He said it from his own mouth. He said
but at the end of the day, we have to situate this in context.
You
understand? We have to situate it.
My question is,
we wrap up
beyond the bill. Honorable, you've received a lot of proposals and consideration from people. This silent sociocultural normalization, this LGBTs going around through movies, through cartoons. Is there any consideration on those things? Just to
Yes. You know, the law has been made such that it covers a lot of activities. Let me just refer you to a few provisions of the law, of the bill. Sorry, let me take you to clause 1.
Okay.
I'll read clause 1 and clause 3, and to give you a broader perspective of the things that are captured, because it includes anybody who is trying to promote it or trying to propagate it. You understand? All those things are captured under the law. They become prescribed by the law. They become an offense under the law. So if you look at the clause 1, it says this act applies to a person, A, who holds out as. So it's looking at holding yourself out. Because at the end of the day, how are we able to determine people being lesbians in their rooms? You will not know. So if you're holding yourself out itself is captured by the law. So if you go and parade yourself like Kojo Besia and
like those are the TikTok and they're wearing
exactly. All things are captured.
No, I think my consideration is my point is there are Ghanaians who have subscribed to things like Netflix and those platforms, and they show movies with explicit scenes of man kissing man, women touching women. That insanity is what I want.
When I finish clause 1 and 3, you appreciate that. And then also 1, this act applies to a person, A, who holds out as a lesbian, a gay, a bisexual, a transgender, a transsexual, a queer, or an ally. Yes, and then a pansexual, or a person of any other sexual orientation, or in a sexual relationship that is contrary to the socio-cultural relationship between a male and a female. B, who is involved in the promotion of, so this is where it might capture some of these, who is involved in the promotion of, propagation of, advocacy for, support, or funding of LGBTQ+. C, who provides or participates in the provision of sex or gender reassignment, surgical procedure. So if you are a doctor and you are doing a gender reassignment, you are captured by the law. Gender reassignment, surgical procedure, or any other procedure intended to create a sexual category other than the sexual category of a person determined at birth. It gives an exception, except where it is an intersex. Intersex is a situation where a person is born and his sex cannot be determined at birth. Those are exceptions. So and then if you come to 3,
so you can have
3 says that prohibition of LGBT plus and related activities. So it says a person shall not engage in a sexual intercourse with a person of the same sex, sexual intercourse with an animal, or a pansexual activity. B, marry or purport to marry a person who is of the same sex as that person. C, knowingly marry or purport to marry a person who has undergone gender or sex reassignment, except in the case of a person who has undergone surgical procedure to correct. This is in the case of intersex. Those are the exceptions. D, marry or purport to marry an animal or object. Hold out as hold out as a lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, transsexual, a queer, a pansexual, an ally, a non-binary, or any other sexual gender identity that is
so your argument is that all of these are captured and may answer
exactly. So for instance, if you are propagating or if you are showing movies, maybe in a public domain, that explicitly demonstrates any of these activities, you can be held liable. You understand?
But I think there should be an explicit provision on it.
On that, on movies.
It seems vague to me in this particular way, because you see, it's something that is with us, right there in our home.
But what's influencing you to look up those?
No, because you can block it. Because any movie, I have subscribed to Netflix. All the movies that are coming from 2020, every single one of them have scenes of some of these.
But they are not forcing you to. Have you watched it?
When I see them, I get angry. But how many people? You see, people. You see,
so if you don't watch it, you don't get.
Yes, I will not watch it, but somebody might, because they've paid for it. You understand? So if we are blocking it, we need to tell them to take those stations from within our jurisdiction, and they can do that. I see.
I think once PENDREAM TV now, so far so good.
Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.